if you're looking at the scope of where the best players in the world were playing this week, obviously it was LIV Golf.
Right.
You had John Deere Classic, who had not one top 50 player in the world. You had the Irish Open that I think had 2 top 50 players in the world, and Seamus Power and Shane Lowry. So LIV Golf was where it was at, and people were living up to the hype. That was a bad joke.
Yeah. Just see yourself out, please.
But a South African, South Africans are dominating LIV Golf right now.
Yeah.
Charles Schwartzel wins week 1, Brandon Grace week 2. They didn't win the team event, but Brandon Grace shoots 65 on Saturday. My biggest question, though, is how much of it did you watch, and what did you take away from LIV Golf Portland?
All right, so this is my full stance on LIV Golf right now. After watching, I tried to watch it on Thursday. I can't get into it. It just does, to me, it does nothing for me. And I think the biggest issue when I had it on is after they, do their shotgun start, everyone's up there waiting around. You can feel the anticipation build a little bit, especially for the fans that were there. But as soon as they get off and going, it's I was they're again, they already know they're getting paid. Yeah, I get there's $5 million you can get if you finish first, but same time too, Matt Wolf, it was his first event over there, and him and Brooks Koepka were kind of just patting each other on the chest, having a good old buddy. It felt like I was out there on the weekend playing Sunday golf and having a good time with my buddy.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I barely watched. I had it on. I think it was Friday, or something right before you and I went out and golf. But it was hard. It was West Coast time made it hard for me to pay attention to it. Or
right.
I might have watched on Saturday. I don't remember. But yeah, it was hard because I was golfing during those times, selfishly. But here's my thought on it. It is a goofy thing, a goofy item, and I know they want to have world ranking points and all those things, and I almost think a solution to this whole thing is you gotta want us to watch it somehow, and you gotta make it different, I think, than what we've been accustomed to watching golf. And when I say different, not a fucking shotgun, that's not gonna change how I feel or anything. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of it. The team thing, I want them to steer more into the team aspect, which I think they could do. But I'm also I'm fully endorsing goofy shit, and I get they're still gonna figure out a way to get world ranking points, and if at this point them doing that prohibits them from getting that in the future, but I'm all for hypothetically in the Canadian Open they put a hockey net out in the middle of the fairway. If you hit it off the tee, that takes off 3 shots. It's just stupid shit like that to see massive changes because. Where I come out on is it is competition, but it is not truly competition. It is an exhibition form of competition, like you talked about playing Sunday with your buddies, and it's for a lot of money. That's what these guys are doing. They're just casually going out and playing, and they're going to have these other serious events that they'll want to do, but make this almost fun and steer into quirkiness because I don't know about you, but if they did some stupid stuff where at this event if you do this or that you get to I want to watch every player attempt that shot. Whether it's hit something into a hockey net or I don't know. I just am throwing out stupid ideas because stupid is what stupid does, and that's what I think that they've kind of come down to is it's a different type of product. Let's completely revamp how we've done this and how we've looked at it. Sorry, that was a big tangent for early in the episode.
Yeah. No, and I think for me, watching it on Thursday, I think I realized I'm just a bit of a traditionalist. I like the tee time spread out between 8 hours throughout the day is that you're going to get your wave of it makes it easier to watch, even though people will argue that, well, you get to watch more golf that way. It's but you only have a 4-hour window to watch it, and watching it at 4:00 on a Thursday or Friday afternoon isn't it was like you said, it wasn't the best time slot for people like us. You're either leaving work at that time and you got to get home and make dinner. If you're going to do that, I don't know, have sunset this time of year is 8, 9, 10 o'clock.
Make it prime time.
Yeah, that's my thought.
You're in Oregon.
Yeah, you could have had them tee off at 4:00 and they would have had plenty of time to get it in. So for me, but again, and we kind of grew up the Tiger. Tiger had that mentality of he wanted to go out and beat you and kill you and not talk to you. And on the first hole, I'm watching Brooks yeah, Matt, we're playing in this thing. We're having some fun. We're making money. And it was just
yeah, but that's just the buddy mentality of the world nowadays, and there's no killers that. You see that in other sports too.
Yeah, but I feel you don't even see that on the PGA. You'll get it during the Ryder Cup, but I've never seen and just
Oh, I hate the class. They talk about the class acts on the PGA Tour all the time, where like guys high five each other after they make putts. Like you two are battling it out right now.
Yeah.
Why are you giving him like? I get like they just made a sick shot, but I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't actually, to be honest, I don't even remind that. Like even like Daniel Berger gave Spieth the thumbs up when he chipped in at the Travelers a couple years ago. Like I don't mind that because like he recognized it was a great shot, but like they didn't even do anything yet. Like they blew like tee shots all over the place on the first hole, and then they were just like slapping like, "Hey, we're here, we're doing it." Like to me, it's just like they again like they already know they're getting paid, and people could say, well, Patrick Reed was fired up, and when he chipped in, like yeah, like that's. He knows he's about to get paid, and I get like for some people, Live Golf is gonna be they like knowing that you're playing for the high price prize, but for me, like none of these events are like storied events. There's no like storylines really coming into it. At least the announcers don't do a good job at doing that. So for me, I'm not a fan of it right now, and I will keep the door open for it. It's not like something I'm completely ruling out. I have talked to people where they're like, no, I won't even Google Live Golf because they don't even want to give them like that publicity.
The time of day.
So I understand it from both sides, but like for right now, it's not really doing much for me.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the case. I was listening to a podcast, and they described it as they literally go, it's like a member guest. Like if you're playing in it, it's really cool. But to anyone else who's not playing in it and is just hearing these stories, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. I mean, I think that's the best thing is like they make it seem like it's fun for all these guys with the shows and the different things that go on. But yeah, you're right. It's hard to feel something. And that's where I think like you just got to freaking like revamp it completely.
Yeah.
Now, again, they're like I don't think they get players if they do some of those crazy things. Or
Right,
so
agreed.
it's a slow approach. And like I'm asking it to go way to one extreme, and I realize that, and I understand how unrealistic it is and stupid. One thing I will say is I think shotgun is stupid.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and everyone talked about that at the beginning, like, oh, it's nice, we're playing at the same time without the draw. It's like there's 48 freaking guys. Like for the most part, you're gonna play it a similar draw. I'm or even split them off different tees. It's hard for me to understand where everyone's at on the golf course. And I know it says on this leaderboard 7 holes to go or something, but it's just like.
I feel
the
like
15th hole is a cool hole because part of it when it shows up in an event or when it shows up on the golf course. And when you're starting on that or starting on those things, I think it just changes the complexion of the round.
Yeah, I kind of look at it from the standpoint is like, okay, imagine you're playing the Masters and you do shotgun start and like, oh, your first hole of the day is like 12.
Yeah, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, either like that or you don't have the pressure that you normally would going into the back nine at Augusta. And like obviously there's a lot of story there. Like I know people are probably going to grill me for that comparison, but at the same time,
it's kind of like it.
like every single event's always going to be a shotgun event. So and to me, I feel like as a consumer, or as a viewer, like you get to learn the golf course too as you're watching the feature groups go through it. So like. From this standpoint, I couldn't you can't really figure out like what the golf course is exactly like how it's laid out either. So I'm not a big fan of it from that standpoint too.
Yeah, it's hard because like a big aspect of like criticism of the PGA Tour is like we're not seeing enough golf shots. We're getting too much of that random bullshit, which that's a lot of like selling ads and stuff. I think this one, it's like I almost want to know a little more about the golf course when I've watched it. And I feel like they do a quick little overview of the hole, but like I don't retain, okay, was that 13? Was that, and that's when they're playing so many, like guys that you're bouncing around, it's just hard to really remember what's going on. Whereas like if we're watching the Masters and let's say a guy's making a charge early on Saturday, he's 9 holes ahead of the leaders.
Right.
We see what he does on 13, 14, 15, and maybe have some sort of context when the leaders get there. And so that's just like that we're nitpicking at things that, again, I don't think the shotgun is the biggest ordeal that they have to worry about.
Yeah. But it's at the same time, too, it's like stuff that you never even thought about that you likes or dislikes. And I think that's kind of the point of talking about it.